I love working out in the morning. I usually start most of my workouts with a quick run. Today was no exception. Today I did around a 15-minute run, which at this pace was just about under 2 miles. I generally start pretty slowly and then I ramp it up as I get more warmed up. And this is me near the end of my running workout. I always work up a huge sweat, but I will say running is a nice warm up to get my blood flowing before I get into my other exercises. And maybe this is just me, but with how sweaty I get, it always feels like I start with a major workout. I like to lift at least twice a week if I can. I don't follow any specific exercise plan, though I mostly do the exercises from the lifting plan I had back during my track days. These days, I mostly pick and choose based off of what I feel like doing. I like to incorporate some element of squats with dynamic movements. I also like to keep myself sharp with pull-ups. I've been doing pull-ups on and off since high school, and once I learned the skill of doing one pull-up, it was just a matter of getting stronger to be able to do multiple. I feel like it's a great way for me to gauge my strength to weight ratio, and certainly during some periods of time, pull-ups are harder than others, so I know I have to adjust my habits accordingly. I finished out my lifting session by adding a little bit more weight for my next exercises, and then I headed back upstairs to get changed for the Muay Thai class. And here's a sneak peek of the bags class that happens right before the pads class that I generally take. I always like to give myself plenty of time after lifting and before class to do a quick little ab series. I usually do 30 seconds of different exercises for about 5 minutes total. And adding some weight with the medicine ball really ups the intensity. Strong abs is so helpful during sparring when someone kicks me on the side or the stomach. Not only does it not hurt as much because I can just flex my abs, but it also helps majorly with keeping my balance. This is me after my 5-minute abs. I always have to take a quick break before I start wrapping my hands. I always wrap my hands for Muay Thai training. That's generally the norm. It gives our wrists good stability in our gloves, and I make sure my knuckles are wrapped well and supported. I generally fold the start of the wrap a few times before I lay it over the backs of my knuckles. I always like to make sure that there's enough space between my fingers so my circulation isn't cut off. I like to make things snug, but not too tight. I'll wrap my wrists a few times so I get that good support, and I weave the wrap through my fingers to keep everything in place. And then with whatever is left over, which is usually not that much, I just crisscross it a few times over the backs of my hands to use up the rest before I ultimately Velcro it in place. So this is my partner and I working pads. Part of the combination we were working on today was an uppercut hook followed by an elbow. And before we start, I always like to practice that a couple of times just so I know how to hold the combination for the hitter. But eventually I'll sprinkle in a few other shots either before or after the combination just so everything is a little bit more fluid. Holding pads generally takes 100% of my concentration because if I'm not ready for the shot, then I could very well get hit in the face, which would hurt a lot. This definitely took me a couple of sessions to get used to when I started Muay Thai, just in terms of the coordination. As a pad holder, I'm always thinking about taking the hit and also what I want to hold for next. Halfway through the class, we switch and now I get to hit. Hitting with a great pads partner is so fun because it always ups the intensity. I can focus on hitting solid, clean shots, and I can also focus on blocking shots as they come too. At the end of a solid session, I'm always exhausted, and sometimes my hands will also shake slightly for a few hours after just from exertion. My coach walks in at this point just to check in to see how we are doing. I knew he was here watching for something, but I wasn't sure for what. And then, of course, it's because my hands aren't up, because here he flicks me to show me my open spot. And then he tries it again, but my hands are up. And there's a cross, elbow, and a knee to finish it off. That's pretty much all of class. I always clean my gear after I finish because I'm sweaty and I touch other people who are sweaty, so it just makes me feel better if I disinfect everything. I like to spray everything inside and out to make sure that everything is clean. After the gym, I start my workday, and today I headed over to a coffee shop to do some work. This place is inside the Walker Hotel, and it's such a great co-working space. It's just so pretty inside. There are 2 coffee shops attached to this space, and it's just like they want you to be as productive as you can be here. Today I'm working on my next video script, and when I'm building out a script, I like to use voice to text just to make things move along more quickly. I usually have my phone and my laptop open. As I add to the script on my phone, I make sure that the words are reflecting correctly on my laptop. It just makes the process so much faster for me. After work, I met my friend Tani at the new boba spot. It's called Chicha Sanchen. There are some locations on the West Coast, even one not too far from where I grew up in LA, but honestly, I didn't learn about it until quite recently. I could tell the tea was such high quality and the tapioca bowls were made really well. They're like sweet and super chewy and warm. 10 out of 10. We took our drinks to a nearby park, and I was just playing around with the camera controls from my phone. If you can't tell, I'm still trying to figure out this camera. We just sat and talked for a little bit. It was really nice to catch up. I think the last time I saw her was at a skincare casting that we both happened to be at. In general, some of my favorite moments are being in a park with a friend and consuming some food or drink item. I just finished hanging out with my friend Tani, and I have one more errand to run, which is to pick up some things from REI, but it's still pretty early. It's like 3 p.m., so I wanted to catch up on some journaling, and I'm at the Elizabeth Street Garden, which is probably one of my favorite spots in the city. I honestly don't come here often enough, but it's so gorgeous, especially during the spring, and I'm so glad I'm in the shade. But yeah, I'll probably journal for a little bit here, and then I'll make my way over to REI in like half an hour. And then I'll go home, make dinner. I'm FaceTiming a friend today, later at 7. So yeah, overall pretty chill day. But for now, let's journal. Journaling has been something I've done on and off ever since college. I like to journal every day whenever I travel because I like noting down moments of my day that I know I would probably forget until I read the journal back. These days I try to keep up with journaling maybe a couple times every week. My journal is like my little time capsule. It's so fun to read back on entries to see how much I've grown, how my priorities have shifted, and also how my life has evolved. Some people cringe at reading back their journal entries, and I definitely cringe at some of mine also. Sometimes I need a few years before I can read some entries back. But overall, it's really interesting to see what I was stressed about years ago or what was on my mind a couple months or years back, and in the future, read back and think it honestly wasn't really that big of a deal. I think it really keeps everything in perspective for me. I just came home and I immediately started eating my carrots and black bean hummus that I made. I just finished it, so I might make a new batch because I actually have some black beans soaking on the stove. I think I'm gonna roast some garlic and then blend it with some Kalamata olives this time around. This is the first time I'm squeezing roasted garlic out. And I'm so excited. I couldn't really wait for it to cool. Whoa. So I'm using this towel. Oh my god, okay. I'm gonna add some Kalamata olives. Let's put some salt in here. I usually put some lemon too, but I don't have any today. I'm kind of too lazy to go to the store. Oh, I forgot. I need to put some sesame seeds. I'll just put like a tablespoon's worth. That acts as my tahini. Maybe a tablespoon and a half. I'll taste it. Let's see what happens. I ended up adding some onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, and cumin. A little bit of turmeric too, because it was smelling kind of bland. And I put some more water so that it blend more. Hopefully this will do the trick. This is what it looks like. It looks kind of like black sesame paste. Let's see. It doesn't taste like the hummus I usually make, which makes sense because I guess I roasted the garlic this time. I usually blend it raw. And I don't really like that either because the garlic taste is just really strong in your mouth. So my mouth smells like garlic after I eat this hummus, but I don't know, maybe I have to like cool it down and put it in the fridge for a little bit. Maybe it needs lemon, which I didn't buy. I'm gonna try putting more salt in it and then I'll just pack it up. I ended up adding more olives and some more salt. I think that makes a huge difference. I have a bunch, so I think I'm gonna pack this up and then I'm also gonna put some in a separate jar to share with my friend because I'm going to her house tomorrow. I feel like I forgot I was vlogging my day for a hot second. I finished prepping breakfast and lunch for tomorrow. I am gonna go on a walk right now, FaceTime my friend, and that's pretty much it for the day. Might do some reading later. I think I'm gonna end this vlog here. If you watched all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. Please like and subscribe to this channel if you aren't subscribed already. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.